Yes, that's right, guys. We are back here again with some more gameplay, and rather than just doing F1 and Car X, that was just pretty much a test to see who was still here, etc. I've now decided to move on to some more strategic
Tell me
gaming
you have some secrets to
for
share?
you guys, as you may have heard from the likes of like Vicstar, etc. That of the game called Dota, like the Dota franchise. Here I've got the Underworld version, which I managed to find on mobile, and today we're going to be having a few games at that and just showing you the casual like gameplay, etc. Showing you like two of the game modes and see how well I do. Right, as you can, we'll just get into the actual video now. So as you can see, we're just getting into choosing our crew, and pretty much I'm not the best at it, as I only got it a few days ago, but what I tried to do is what my game plan to begin with was to try and get as many of the alliances as possible, just like not bulk size alliances. But then now, as you progress through the video, you'll eventually realise that towards the end of the video, towards the end, that I actually end up mass building one certain alliance, like one to three alliances. Like I have like 5 characters in one alliance, and then that alliance gets massively boosted, and it boosts all your characters. So then your characters become a lot more powerful. So here you just saw I bought Weaver. So I've pretty much just gone and taken Luna off for Weaver because I felt like that Weaver was the better character. And we come up against this guy who looks to have some decent characters. They're all level 1 at the moment though, because it's first round, it's to be expected. Unless, I don't know. And we end up getting defeated, so we've lost 1 heart. And in knockout mode, you get 4 hearts, and if you lose all your hearts, then you get knocked out, technically eliminated from the actual game, and you lose. So here I was just basically looking at what I could like swap out, what could work better in like the shop from this current round. Then in a few seconds time, the shop will update to the next round after we choose our Underlords, and I choose Anna 6. Main reason I chose Anna 6 is because I feel like she's one of the best, as she has she spawns an extra archery, as well as spawning in like as well as when she like dies and gets killed or whatever, she like spawns in her golem, which is actually rather powerful. It has a mega amount of health, and if troops aren't concentrating on it and they don't attack it enough, then it will easily like wipe them out. So here we come up against this guy, I think his name's Pain or something like that, and I'm pretty much just like trying my best to get to beat some guys. But before that, you probably saw that I bought a Drow Ranger and put the Luna back in. I bought Drow Ranger because I kind of needed, because if I bought it then it got upgraded. As you can see, because it's like a 2-star now, it did like 2,500 damage. But then with the Weaver, down at the bottom on the right, which is where all my damage is, it's not hardly done any. Here I'm pretty much just like, it takes me a bit of time to choose the right attribute, because I basically just have a quick scan of what each of the attributes says, then I choose like one that I think has the most like ability check for my team. So I end up buying an extra Luna and selling the Weaver, as I realised it wasn't that good, and buying this Sven as well. So now I've got a level 2 Luna, and I've got a Sven at the front row as well. So here, as you just saw top left, you probably saw like the gold with 3 stars underneath. That means that guy, Colt 45 or whatever, has now got a 3-star character. same with the pain.
Create a phalanx!
Those characters are so powerful, like, honestly. I mean, I've had them, I don't know if it's in this video, it might be later on, but I've had one of them and they have so much health. It's absolutely stupid. They're not OP or anything, they're just like really good because they can easily be killed with all the the powers etc. that the Underlords have and stuff. But as you also see as you go through, that I begin to start like saving my money up a bit more rather than just spending it all at once. I went to spectate them just because I wanted to see what was happening with that thingy. And now we can choose another character. So I'll go for the Io. I'm kind of regretting now choosing that and thinking I should have gone for the Batrider, only because the Io did hardly anything to help my team. So, and I'm on 1 heart now, so pretty much if I lose this match then I'm pretty much out of the game. So I end up going against a guy on 2 hearts, and it didn't exactly go down too well. Well, I kind of lost again. So 4 losses in a row, and I'm completely out of the game. So I end up just like checking out the battle pass because I wasn't sure, but I knew that you could get match XP etc. for the battle pass, but I didn't realise that you had to buy the battle pass. But I do now, and then I just went through and looked at all the stuff that you could get for the achievements etc. All the banners etc. just before I went into my next match. And before I went into my next match, I made sure that I claimed my my battle pass challenge thingy. So here we're going into a standard casual match. The rules for this are different to a knockout match. So basically in a knockout match, at the beginning of the match you get to choose your crew, but then in a standard casual match you have to buy you get a maximum of 3 characters and you can buy up to 3 characters from the shop. You get 5 gold to start with. And then also in a knockout match your XP goes up automatically. But in a actual standard casual match, your XP you have to pay 5 gold to like upgrade it etc. So when I come on, I'll basically looking at the little like icons beneath, debating like which ones go well together etc. So I end up choosing the Chaos Knight, the Nyx Assassin, and one other, I can't remember what it's called. But that gives me 1 alliance, which is the Demon Alliance, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then as you can see, I'll just go on and then I'll just check out what other people are doing. And I end up going up against this guy. But I can tell you now that this game here becomes a lot better, because you have a lot more health. So like on knockout you only have like 5 hearts. But then on standard mode you have like 100 hearts. But for example, I lost here and I lost 3 health. But as we go through, you can see as the game progresses, you lose like more and more if you lose a match. So like, sometimes you can lose up to like 20. So it's a lot fairer and it's a lot easier. It's a lot harder for you to be knocked out. So you get longer to play. So here I've basically just opened the window again just to take a look at like how damage was doing. And it looked as though all my characters were doing like a decent amount of damage, similar sort of damage. So I left them as they were, and I bought the vitality booster. I basically, a lot of the time I just buy it. I just get the vitality booster at the beginning because it gives you 375 health extra, and it's just like sometimes that health is really useful. And sometimes like it can like help your team out a lot. But in the end I end up buying the Razor and getting rid of Chaos Knight. I don't know why, but I think it might be because I thought the Razor is like really powerful etc. Because the Razor does a lot of damage in my eyes. as you can see, the Razor has actually done like a lot of damage, 500 odd. Now it's down the bottom again because the Queen of Pain getting attacked so singularly. And basically, with the way that I play this nowadays, since how I used to as I've evolved through the game, it's basically that I've managed to like bring like certain alliances that are rather similar. It's like Brawny
Mama Eve was
and
a good
something
friend
else,
of mine.
and like Mage and something else. I end up buying Snapfire, and I end up trying to stick him on, but I accidentally run out of time. So I'm probably going to end up losing this one, sadly, just because I have one less character on the board. So yeah, I end up losing it, which is like the third loss in a row, just because I didn't get Snapfire on, but I didn't mind too much, to be honest. And then when the shop resets, I basically like kind of sorry about that, I was just stretching. I basically kind of like decide to try and upgrade my characters a bit. Well, there isn't really anyone to upgrade with, but I know that Viper's a good one, so I'll buy Viper. I stick the Viper in because he connects up, and then I think I basically I sell the Snapfire because, well, I didn't need to use it in the end, and I spend like the rest of the gold that I have on upgrading so I can get a level, so I can get closer to getting 5 troops on the board. So with this, we end up doing rather decent now because of the alliances I've got, etc. So I think this one's quite a close one between me and whatever, after Jones, whatever. But finally we end up actually winning a match, which is really good, because then it means that we like keep some of our health and we can progress further on through where others can't. And as you can see, the Viper did like 2,000 damage. That's why the Viper's really good. And I'm basically just reading through like each of the attributes, etc. for each like item, and I end up choosing the barricade. But what I realised later on is that you can actually move items like the barricade, the mango tree, the target buddy, etc. They can actually be moved within your tiles, so they don't have to stay in the place that they've been put in. So you can like move them about, etc., and put them in like tactical places. Here I was basically just trying to find out what attribute things I have. So as you can see, I've got Demon Assassin, and I'm basically just like, what does this buff, etc. We end up winning this as well. I was basically just like, what does this buff, etc. What could I do to improve everything, etc. As you can see, I've bought the Ember Spirit, I think that is. Not sure. So as you can see, there's an extra Viper in the store, so I end up buying that and moving him right to the end, just so that I know that I can. Just so that I know that I could upgrade him. Then I end up putting like the Ember Spirit or whatever it was in, because I managed to upgrade my thingy enough to allow me to have 5 characters. And then, wait, is that Ember Spirit or not? I don't know. So we end up taking on this guy, and now that we're doing rather well, the battles are basically becoming a bit easier. Yeah, it's the Ember Spirit, as the Viper is really, really good because it's flying and stuff. So most of the others just target ground. The Viper is like most of the time left with a lot of health left. So as you can see, the Queen of Pain got the most there. I've got another Viper here now, so I end up upgrading my Viper to a 2-star. And I end up getting the Ember Spirit because sorry about that. Because if I get one more, then I can upgrade that to a 2-star as well. So I end up just basically, here I was just basically looking at what other people had, etc. Like contractions, bench, and what like they had in their army, etc. So now I'm back here. We end up going against this guy, and we end up beating him, thankfully. And as you can see there, just to prove my point about Viper, Viper's done like double the amount of damage of the Queen of Pain. He's done like 2,000 compared to everybody else. That's why the Viper is really, really good in my eyes. So here I'm basically just upgrading my thingy so I can get an extra personnel. And I have the other Ember Spirit on. And on the left hand side, that's practically to show who you're playing against in like your match, etc. And who you like, where you are in the leaderboard between phases. And as you just saw, I was 4th place. So I was doing quite well for myself, to be honest. And then here we're coming up against this guy, and it's practically another pretty easy win, I think. Unless we do end up losing. Yeah, we do end up losing actually. Yeah, so we actually do end up losing that one. But he's like one of the other really good players on the thingy. But as to prove my point again about Viper again, he's done 2,000 of damage. Here I was basically just thinking like what would work best, what would not. So I end up choosing the Vanguard, which gives me more health. So I've practically got an extra like 725 health pretty much, I think. So the Queen of Pain's now in the store, so I end up buying that, I think. Yes, I do. And then I put that to the end to remind me that I can upgrade it like I did with Viper, and then I end up spending the rest of it on like my XP, etc. So now I'll come up against this guy, and as we lost the last game, I was kind of hoping that we win this one so that we can like keep our health points up, and we end up winning this one, even though we had like a Juggernaut or it was a Tusk I think he had that did quite a bit of damage to me. But as you can see, Viper's done a lot of damage again. And we've still got the Demon Assassin combo on at the moment. That is one of the combos that does work kind of well actually, as well as like the Brawny, etc. Like Brawny and something else. Brawny and Dragon, I think it is. Oh no, it's not. It's Brawny and then whatever like the slashed one is. So we end up getting to choose our Underlord now, and they end up choosing Anna 6, which I just think, as I explained earlier on, I just think that she's like one of the best, etc. So now I end up buying the Terrorblade, which from watching Vicstar's videos, I felt like was one of like the best, and I also end up buying a Razor so I can get a level 2 Razor, which does heaps amount of damage. My god. I wonder, I think that if I show you it after, then you'll see what I mean. By the way, just for your info, I've recorded this before I talk about it. Yeah, here we go. The level 2 Razor has done like a lot of damage. As you can see here, the Viper has done a lot of damage as well, and we end up winning that one. Luckily, we were close to losing that actually. That was rather a close battle. But then an Ember Spirit pops up, and I end up buying that. And then they have a spare slot because I had 2 Ember Spirits on the board, so I end up putting Terrorblade in. And then that was pretty much a bit of a bad idea. This is where I actually figure out that you can actually move the barricades, etc. So I end up moving Terrorblade back a bit, but that didn't work because of the timer. And now Terrorblade just like, I know that it's like best in like those auto chests, etc. Those auto chests. But I just felt like in this, it's got like 2 little health, like it's been nerfed or something by the. I don't know because I haven't had this game that long. But as you just saw, he had a Juggernaut, which is like a decent decent one for like early game, etc. And sadly we end up losing that, but surprisingly we still have a higher amount of health than him. So here I was basically like looking at the right, and the next assassin isn't doing too well anymore. So I ended up buying the Templar assassin and putting that in, and they upgraded my HP again. So we end up going against this guy, who's only got 39 health left. Yes, basically if you don't have a really good team and you don't upgrade it regularly, then there's a high chance that you can they can drop down really quickly. But as you can see here, Terrorblade actually did a bit better, and then the newly bought Templar Assassin did really well as well. Queen of Pain's starting to lack off, but we'll just see how it goes pretty much, unless I get rid of it. I can't remember. It was a while ago that I actually recorded this. So so we end up choosing one of these. I think we choose Battle Fury, yes we do, because it just it gives you better attack damage, etc. And I thought that would be best use for my team.
They won't be able to deal with this.
I was just basically looking then at what other people were doing, and I spot a Queen of Pain in the store. So I think I end up buying that, yes I do. Then we've got an extra position. So I was like, what do I buy to put in that extra position? And I end up getting the Wind Ranger. There's that boosted 2 alliances to get them up, to get at least one of them up. Now we've got Vigilant Demon Assassins. Basically the 3 words that well together, so that's why I call it like that. And we end up doing rather well actually from now on. We don't, well, I would say that we do rather well, but we end up sadly losing this match, which isn't the best. And we end up losing, as you can see, 4 health, which puts us below 2 people now. And we end up getting rid of Terrorblade, did we? I'm not sure about that. No we don't. Terrorblade's still in there, but then I've basically just gone and upgraded my XP and stuff. While we wait for the next one, just basically all I'm pretty much doing with this is basically I'm just trying to actually be a bit more active on my YouTube channel now. So I want to try and I do want to try and get more subscribers, but to me it doesn't matter about the money that you can earn. It's honestly about the fun, about the challenges against how many subscribers my mates have, how many subscribers other people have, etc. That's basically the main point for me. I don't really care about the money and stuff. So right, we can get back to this now, and as you can see there's 2 Snapfires, so I end up buying them both and selling the extra Queen of Pain and selling the Queen of Pain completely and putting the Snapfire in, because it links up with the Viper nicely. So then we've got the Dragon ability, so we've basically got Vigilant Demon Dragon Assassins pretty much now. So we end up coming up against this guy, and I think from now on we actually end up doing rather decent. I think if I remember rightly we end up beating this guy, yeah. We've got 5 troops left on the board, and he's only got 1. So we end up beating this guy and putting him down to below 50 hearts. We are still in the top 4, top 5, etc. But as you just saw, there's one person that's just being eliminated now. There's a spare Wind Ranger in the store, so I think I go ahead and buy that.
Tactics here.
No, I don't. I end up buying the Druid Archer or whatever that was. I don't know what it was actually. I saw the Wind Ranger as well. Maybe I should have actually gone for that Wind Ranger. Well, it's happened now, so basically we end up going up against this guy. And the game's lagged a bit, but alright, we end up killing back in right, and we just lagged I don't know why. It's because I'm basically been jumping with 3 people, just spectating. That was why. I don't know why I thought it was lagging you. Yeah. But here you can see that the draw ranger that I just bought hasn't really done it too good. And here you can see that there's a dragon thingy. With like names and stuff, sometimes I think that if they've got like the name of an alliance, they'll boost the alliance. But I'm not 100% sure myself. Also, from the looks of things, I have a feeling that you might be able to like put the like special items actually on the characters, rather than just having them down on in the inventory kind of thing. But I don't know yet, so I'll have to try and find that out at some point. As you can see, we're in 4th place at the moment, and we come up against this guy, whoever HH, who's only got actually 1 alliance. So this should be rather easy to defeat him. But it turns out that it actually rather easy for other reasons. So we end up defeating him easy as it, dropping down to 27. So as I said earlier, sometimes you can lose a lot of health. It's like he just lost 13 hearts there. And we basically just now, I'm basically pretty much just taking a look at all my characters and just waiting for the next round to come on. So when round 18 comes, which is now, I earned 12 gold that round, there's not really anything in the store apart from an Ember Spirit. So I'll end up buying that and put it to the end like I did with other characters, etc., ready to be upgraded. But with this, it's really hard to get a 3-star because you need like 3.
This is the edge I was looking for.
You need like 3 1-stars and then like 3 2-stars. I end up also buying something else there, so we get a bit of brawny gain as well. As soon as I had the extra and I had the XP to be able to get
your army isn't half as
extra guy. I think that was Juggernaut. To be honest, Juggernauts are alright, but they're only good early game pretty much. And I think because of that Juggernaut, we end up using this. Just ignore the notification there about Kickstarter, etc. I did say about him earlier. And basically, it's kind of difficult in a way because you're trying to like balance the right amount of each alliance attribute, etc., and trying to upgrade your thingies at the same time, but have a decent amount of gold at the end. So we end up buying Doom and getting rid of the Juggernaut because Juggernaut wasn't doing well at all, and we also bought an extra Viper there so that we can upgrade Viper in the future if we got enough. But it's like, as I said, it's really hard to upgrade stuff because you need like, I think it's like 9 of 1 at the beginning to get a level 3. Like 9 level 1s, which they need to make 3 level 2, then 1 level 3. So it is rather hard, but I actually wonder if you can get level 4. Who knows? But over time it comes a bit. Every time, like, what I usually do is I just try and get the 2-star ones because they're like easy and they're cheap to get. And as you can see, there's another Terrorblade, there's another Razor, and I think I end up buying them both. I'm not sure, but I definitely buy the Terrorblade because with the Terrorblade, I can I'll just buy the Terrorblade. With the Terrorblade, I can then therefore upgrade my Terrorblade if I get 1 more, and if you get a level 2 Terrorblade, that, as I found out, they are rather actually really good. I also found out here what the actual like the randomize button does, because I thought that like kept your team for another round. I don't know why. It just looked like it was like a thingy, but then I realised it actually randomizes it. It actually randomizes your it actually like randomizes your another set of like characters for you that you can buy from. Then the lock on the left, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what makes you I'm pretty sure that's what allows you to lock your team in. So here we got some tier 4 items, and I was basically looking like what works best, and I choose the scythe. So I don't know if they are actually activated or not, my items, because I don't have them on anybody, but I have no idea. So we end up randomizing it now, seeing if you know how to do it. And I find a Medusa, and Medusa's like a legendary character. So I was like, I'll get that and just wait till next round to put it in, if any, to see what character like doesn't do too great, etc. So I'm back onto here and I'm looking through, and at this point in time, that's just the Terrorblade is like not doing the best. It's not like powerful, it's got really low amount of health. We also end up losing this match as well. So as you can see, Terrorblade's done like 26, but then the Templar Assassin has done 592, which is the one above it. So if I remember rightly, I end up selling my Terrorblades and putting Medusa in. There's also another Ember Spirit which I think I'll buy here. So if I get one more, I can get an extra level 2 Ember Spirit. So I end up selling my Terrorblades and sticking in Medusa, which doesn't really do a great deal extra for me, to be honest. But it's just a nice little addition because it's a legendary, etc. And then Doom is a epic one. So that's the level just below legendary. Well, I call legendary, common, rare, etc. But I don't know if they're actually called that. But as you can see, having the actual Medusa did actually help it. She did a lot more damage. But we still sadly end up losing, which isn't the best. And as you can see, it's now the Templar Assassin and the Draw Ranger and Doom actually lacking off. So in the end, I think I end up getting rid of the Doom. Or I might get rid of not sure if I get rid of something or not. But I think I'll get rid of the Doom. Because it's starting to stack off a bit now. We end up randomising that, and then I see the other Terrorblade and I get a bit annoyed because I could have got a level 2 Terrorblade easy. But it's just the way it is. We've only got 15 health left ourselves now, so in like 2 more matches at most, we'll end up losing and getting eliminated. But what you find out is that from like just a bit earlier on, as you get to like level 15 or 20 or something, then you start to lose a lot more, because if you've got like a low number of alliances, etc., and they aren't heavily stacked and stuff, then it's pretty, and they are heavily stacked. But then if you get a lot of alliances that are still heavily stacked, that gives you more bonuses. So basically you end up in a bit stuck, and basically you end up not really doing a lot. So I end up just like scanning through, keep on changing, see if I can find anything that will help me upgrade, etc. I find Dragon Knight and the Face of the Void, who are both legendaries as well, and I buy the Dragon Knight. And then after this round, because I think I stay in, if I remember rightly, I end up taking out the Doom and putting the Dragon Knight in. Because it's another legendary that I can Then, as you can see, my actual hero, my actual Underlord, I think it was a bad choice choosing on the 6th now. I just got eliminated, because as you saw, she'd hardly done any damage to anything at all, pretty much. So it's like, it's pretty much like, should I have chosen her? Should I have chosen someone else? But I've chosen that Underlord now. I can't really help it, etc. So now I'm pretty much just like checking up something. I think basically just so I can talk to you or something. Talk to you guys out there, like. And here I go ahead and play another game of it. So I'm going to press the play game button just now. Play again. And basically, I have become... sorry about that. I have become a lot better at the game since I've been playing more. As you can see, this skill guy, he's got quite a high thingy because he's done part of the court game, like challenge thing. So basically, like I do it at the start of everything, I'm basically just looking at what goes well. But I saw nothing that went well together, so I ended up randomizing it, and I ended up finding two tinies and a tusk that went well together. Tinies are actually, well, tinies are just a bit weird, to be honest, because of the way they are. You wouldn't think that they were any good or anything, but it turns out that they're actually rather decent and stuff. So as you'll see in a bit, you'll see that each tiny does like 500 or something damage to a character, and they do actually have a decent amount of health, which is rather surprising. Yeah, as you see, they've done like 800 odd damage. So it's like the tinies are actually rather decent, and they're actually rather decent, other than not that decent. So we end up winning our first game for a change, which is nice, and so we end up getting to choose these. And I think I changed from the vitality booster for just a change from getting health all the time, so I can probably upgrade my damage, etc. So I'm a bit more powerful, rather than just be sitting back and trying to just like look after all my things. So here I end up buying the 2 Snapfires and end up selling the tiny. I didn't mean to sell the tiny though. I kind of meant to put it on my actual bench, but I ended up selling it by accident. So I've got my 2 Snapfires, and I think I end up buying the tusk as well. Yes, I do. And I lose all my alliances, so basically it pretty much goes a bit downhill. Sadly, because I took out the tiny, so I don't have the alliance boost anymore. So yeah, the tusk ends up getting destroyed by like the Luna and the next assassin from the other team. So I've just like kind of destroyed my tactic, etc. pretty much, which isn't really good. But then I think I see the bristleback, and I think, yeah, I choose that, because that like does 2 other thingies, so it's really more helpful. And I upgrade my thingy so I can actually stick the bristleback in. So now how I so getting rid of that extra tiny was actually rather helpful in a way, because now I've got a savage brawny team. As you can see, we come up against this guy Skill, who had that pretty cool like thingy, and I think if I remember rightly, we end up beating him. Yes, we do. Because like we have like Warning Savage, and then he had like 2 or 3 others, but I didn't have him like stacked up, etc. So we end up beating him, or we end up staying up like 3rd or whatever. And then thankfully there's another Snapfire in the store, so I can upgrade my Snapfire to a level 2, which is rather helpful, as then it means that you can do a lot more damage. And to be honest, out of like my favourite and best characters that are actually in the game, from what I've played at the moment, I have to say that it's pretty much between Razor, Viper and the Snapfire, because they can all do like heavy amounts of damage. It's absolutely ridiculous. So if you manage to get like them all in the team together, and they all have like same attributes, similar alliances, and they all can like get the boost, etc., then they can really help each other. But we end up losing that one against General Fan, who's pretty much top at the time. And we then end up end up getting another item to select, so we choose the Dragon Lance, I think. Yes, we do. I just thought that would do our team a bit better. So as you can see, the Viper was down, and end up buying that because of how good I find the Viper. So and then we end up just upgrading that speed again as normal. So as you can see, the Snapfire, as I proved earlier, as I said earlier, it did like 3k. And then at last minute I decided to sell one of my characters and try and put the Viper in, but I actually didn't get the time to put the Viper in, which caused me to lose this match, I think, sadly. Which isn't what I really wanted, but it's just the way it happened. And it's just the time, I didn't make my decision early enough. It's just a game really, it's just what I can't help. So now we end up putting the Viper in. I don't know why I called it like a Sven or whatever it was. Like I called it, that I kind of like decided to call it a bit when I was actually playing the game. But I ended up managing to get both Vipers in because I upgraded my XP enough. And the Vipers are really good. But now you can see that we've got Brawny Dragon something characters. Brawny Dragon. I can't remember. Well, as you can see, all of that fire coming off there was from Snapfire, who's really good, and therefore we end up winning that. So we're back into winning ways. And if you see as you see the fire on the left hand side, well, you'll see again in a minute. Basically, what that means is that person's got like a decent streak going, and that becomes more like stronger and stuff as you go through. Here, I'm basically just looking at what people had 2 sets, and as you can see in the like thingy, and basically seeing if anybody else had similar things to me. But it turns out that no one else had my characters, which was rather surprising, seeing I've got 2 of the like best. And I'm like, I went to have a look at this match because it was just taking a while, etc. And then when I got there, it pretty much ended. So we end up getting to round 7 now, and there's a Viper in store, so we end up buying that and getting a level 2. And then I'm basically looking at like what could benefit me more. I stick the Tusk in, the spare Tusk, rather than buying another character, because that was basically just like the best one that was there. And then we end up coming up against General Van again, who's actually rather decent now. And I can't remember, but I'm feeling like we do beat him again. But as you can see, all like the big fire, etc., that's all from Snapfire. He's really powerful and stuff. But the Viper's just about to kill them. Snapfire gets killed by the little like minions that Nature's Prophet dropped out, I think. I think it's from Nature's Prophet, I'm not sure. So we end up winning that, which is good, and that pops us up into like the top 3 or 4 again. So here, there's like nothing in the store that really benefits me. So I'm kind of like, do I buy anything or not? So, because of last matches and the Lone Druid was like decent, I ended up buying that and sticking that in because it was like an epic as well, instead of the extra Tusk. But it ended up being decent, but it didn't get boosted at all. And by the way, sometimes if you see sometimes like an icon like on the character, like says like a face with a thingy on it or something else, it's basically just like what the other team's characters have done to you. So like, for example, it said on the Lone Druid broken, they can be silenced or poisoned or whatever. Here it actually looks like the Lone Druid actually did decent, and we end up we end up just like looking at these and end up going for the target buddy for a change and sticking that in, and we end up getting an extra tusk, so I end up getting a level 2 tusk and getting an extra bristle back, and I put the target buddy in the centre so that it can try and take up all the fire, take up as much fire as possible from the other team without them hitting all of my team. So then we end up coming up against this guy for the first time, Yang9527, and we end up doing rather well actually. He's like the top player at the moment. Well, he was the top player, he was higher up. And because of the Viper and that fire and stuff, we can do level 2. They do heat and mark damage, so we end up getting an easy win here. Like, it was raw, pretty easy. Here we get to choose our Underlord, and I think I went for Hobgun rather than Anna 6 this time, because I was reading through and I know I'm going to go for Anna 6, but basically I begin to read through and I basically begin to decide which ones I think are better than others, and basically which one would suit my team best. So as you can see, the top guy, I find Tomic, his flame on the edge of his is really big. So that just implies that it's got a very high sweep. So we come up against this guy, Bacon Warner, I think that is.
You dare tell me of your own. I am his dragon's master.
He has a level 2 Shadow Fiend, but we end up beating easy. Yeah, the massive golem that you must have seen, that you should have seen, that's Anna 6's golem. That's really good. Now you can see that my flame's growing, since I've got a decent streak up now. This is like one of my best matches that I've had out of all the matches I've done. So we end up coming to here, we have 33 gold in the bank because I've started saving it up, etc. And I'm starting to think, what would I really want to buy with that 33 gold, etc. do to save it up. So I ended up just saving up on gold because there wasn't really anything that I fancied. And I've got a decent team at the moment. It's winning easy. So I ended up staying with my same team. And we end up winning against this guy. This person. And my Underlord died with quickly actually. He surprised me. And then what happened is we actually lost this game. And we lose 13 health, which isn't that great really. So now we end up just looking through the store again. We find 2 Beastmasters and I'm like, why don't we look at putting them on? The Viper was the thing that was recommended, so I ended up just getting rid of the Beastmasters again and sticking the extra Viper in, because the Vipers are really good. And then I end up rolling, and then I rolled this again just to see what pops up.
I don't care how big you grow, we will cut you down all
just to see if I can get anything to it and how it goes, etc. So I end up finding a profit, because it looks it those 2 attributes, etc. So it seems like it's really good. So we end up sadly losing this match again as well, and losing 5 health or something, which isn't really the best. But then we end up coming on to another item, etc. And we get the poison one, I think. No, the Pipe of Insight. That's what it is. It just gives extra magic or whatever. So then there's 2 more nature's profits, so I end up getting both of them and upgrading my nature's profit to level 2. And then I end up upgrading my things so I can actually stick it, upgrading my XP I mean, so I can actually put my nature's profit in without having to take anything out. There's also an extra Lone Druid in the store, so I end up getting that. So when I get 1 more Lone Druid, I can actually upgrade my Lone Druid. to have another, so we get a decent level. So it's now round 13, and as you can see, everybody's actually on decent health. It's only one person below 50, and person out against now is close to being below 50, etc. But now he is below 50, so I just beat him. And basically, it's rather a tough round because everybody's actually doing rather decent. So it's going to take quite a while. I mean, like, quite a tough game. So we ended up spectating this because it's taking a while, the actual game. And then General Van ends up winning, so we go back to our area. So we've got 8 gold there. So I'm basically looking at like what helps, etc. And by the way, the grey, like, I think that it's like the grey are like common, so I just bought the Magnus there, which I kind of now pretty much regret because it didn't really help as much. I think like the grey are common, then the green are like uncommon, and I think you can get blue, so that's like rare. Then pinks or purple is epic, then like the goldy, yellowy gold ones are legendary, but I'm not 100% sure.
These dragons serve their better.
And we end up doing alright, but it's not the best, really. But actually, in the end we do end up beating them, which is rather good. So now it's coming on to round 15. And we've pretty much got back into winning ways. And as you can see, the lone druid at level 2 is rather powerful. No, it was the top of things. Basically, I'm just going through here looking at what could help, etc. What could help me with my team. So I find another tusk and buy that. Then I pretty much just save my coins for the rest. But then I take a look at the store and I'm basically just go and upgrade my stuff a few. So now I've got like 5 attributes because I've got profit in. And we end up doing this against this. Again, so we've done decent on in the back. So all the fire everywhere, snap fire.
I'd love to introduce you to
we end up doing decent. And then, as you can see, all the bombs that are coming down, that's from Hobgin's special ability when he like dies or something. Basically, bombs rain down on the enemy, so then it's very advantageous if your enemy has got like low health and and you have low health yourself, then it's really pretty advantageous, because what it means is that then you can pretty much just do it, and it therefore makes you it therefore allows you to get the other team really low, or even kill a few of them possibly. So here we go up against Skell again, who's the one with like the decent banner. And looking at what the Magnus is doing, pretty much the Magnus isn't doing anything great. It's doing alright, but it's not doing a lot of damage. And then with this match, all the troops get spread out, etc. And then they've got 3 spirits, so the spirit the spirit triangle happens, which is main cause of me losing that. But as you can see, the actual level 2 Magnus only did like 600 damage. But here we get another one, and I think I'll go for the... I'll go for the other thing, I can't remember what it's called. Well, anyway. We end up coming to the store, and then there's an extra Viper which I buy. And basically, I put both Vipers close to each other, and we just randomise it, because you get a free randomizer like round or something. So then I end up just upgrading my thingy a bit, and then now I'm basically just like against some guy who's got like 6 alliances. So
couple of hours sort of put stuff around the
past
week,
my
but might not have
guards.
been good stuff, etc. Like you have numerous characters like all in one alliance, which makes you get
My followers will wipe me from the earth.
we're here, we end up like killing off a lot of these characters. Snapfire doing a lot of damage again, like usual. But then sadly we actually end up losing, which I think I was quite surprised at, to be honest. And then you can see what I mean, like the Tuscan and Magnus are doing. We've got a 2-star Viper now. So we just leave him there for now, I think. And then we just wait, and, yeah. But as you can see, the Tuscan and Magnus are like doing like less than 1,000 damage all the time. So I'm like kind of debating, do I get rid of him yet, do I not? So I end up just seeing how they did this map, just to see like how decent they were and how well they did, etc. See how much damage they did. And it ends out that the push actually doesn't go in and but then the Magnus, it pretty much got killed instantly, and it did way less damage than what the Tush did.
How did I die so fast?
Just above it at the moment. Like Tush did over 1,000, and the Magnus did like 82, which is absolutely awful. So I think we do end up selling the Magnus. Well, it's a common anyway, so I don't know why I have it on my team, to be honest. But then we get an extra lone druid, so we can get a level 2 lone druid, which is really good. Yeah, so we end up selling the Magnus, and we end up putting the extra Viper in, which is really helpful. But as you can see, we're starting to drop down a bit now. There's 2 more Nature's Prophets in the store, and there's an extra Viper, so I end up buying all of that. Then we're like into this match, round 19.
I'll break any rule I have to.
So technically he's on first one against now is on 8 health. So if we pretty much beat him here, he's going to get eliminated. So we end up doing like taking etc. Then the Anisis one, which is a big purple thing, that has a decent amount of health, did a ton of damage to everything, which helped us. And then it's basically pretty much ended up being Nature Prophet in the 2v1. And sadly we end up losing. So we lose like the 3 health or whatever it was now. And then looking at that, looking at my thing on the right, I was wondering like, why do I ever never level 3 Nature Prophet? Because I don't have a level 3 Nature Prophet, do I? But then it kind of ends up that one of my like boosters or something like that, I don't know what it was, but something like that actually is the thing that's causing me to have like some level 3 things. Like, Nature Prophet's level 3, but now I've got a level 3 Lone Druid rather than level 3 Nature Prophet. So it's probably like my items or something like that that was causing that. But that was really good because it meant it boosted my speed a lot. And it helped my team like destroy like the others, etc. Like it gave us a better chance at winning. Like Lone Druid, it's done like 6,000 damage. But as you get closer to the end, you'll see that we end up losing that sadly, but then we lose a massive 7 health. Well, it ain't exactly massive, but yeah. And then this one guy is on 1 health, which is super annoying, to be honest. But then we come to like getting another item, and then we go for I don't know. Yeah, we go for Vladimir's, and we basically just look at buying the store and stuff, let it be sets for the next round, and then we do a roll. And there's a Nature's Prophet in there, so I have a feeling we buy that, but I'm not 100% sure. But we'll see. So basically I'm pretty much just waiting. I end up actually refreshing it again and buying the Tusk, and I think we also buy the Viper as well. Well, yeah, we do. At least I should buy the Viper. So we end up getting another level 2 Tusk, which is cool. Lone Druid level 3 and then if we get if we got like one more level 1 Snapfire, we can get not Snapfire, Viper, we can get an actual full level 3 Viper. So we actually thankfully end up winning that match, which is really good. And then it comes to like this match, and I think there isn't here, but I think in a bit you'll find another Viper that's appeared in the store. So I'll end up getting a level 3 Viper, which will mean that I get rid of 2 of my characters. So yeah, there's another Bristleback which I think I'll buy.
There is much I
I'll buy the Templar Assassins. Just so like in a bit, because I'm looking at the thingy and the Tusk isn't doing that great.
thought of restore rewards and
Well, it's doing
service.
decent now. It's not doing the best it's been good.
Doesn't matter how big they get, kill them.
Like a heavy game, looks like I will do it. So
The longer this goes on, the stronger my army becomes.
beating this guy again as well. And pretty much like doing rather decent. So we end up coming to round 25, I think this is, and I'm basically just scanning through the shop again, looking for stuff that would be helpful and stuff. I find 2 legendaries which I don't bother picking up. I find an extra Lone Druid, I find an extra Tusk. I don't bother picking up them. I find an extra Assassin though, which I don't bother picking up either. And but I find Nature's Prophet and Snapfire as well. And I don't bother picking them up. I'm pretty much doing is scanning through the shop and stuff that will actually help me. Because I'm pretty much like out of times like that's something that I wanted an extra Templar Assassin so I could get
Bugs?
level
You think I'm afraid of
Templar
bugs?
Assassin. So here we've now got a level 3 Nation Prophet UP ability. And we lost that one sadly. But it's nearly this is like the best game that I did out of the whole recording. Well, it's saving the best of last, to be honest. So we end up doing decent there, and therefore we end up, we are at last at the moment due to our stuff, but we end up selling the Tusk, which as you can see is not doing that great. But then the Bristleback, I had a feeling would do actually get decent and stuff. So we're against Skell again, and we end up having Templar Assassin in for this match. What is it early warning? Well, yeah, it's pretty much about to be when I'm actually reverse moving for this. But we end up therefore losing that match, and practically another guy gets taken out, and then there's a tier 5 item in the back, which is basically a legendary. So I think we end up going for that. Yes, so we do. So we end up getting that, and then we end up just looking through like what can help us again, like we've done pretty much all the time. Sorry if it's getting pretty repetitive about looking about what helps. So there we get a level 3 Viper. But now I've got 2 slots free, so I put the extra Bristleback in. But now I'm 1 character down, which doesn't serve me too great for getting the level 3 Viper. So I am in a bit of a spot of trouble. The top guy has 10 characters, I only have 8 now. Yeah.
and the second top guy is 9.
Don't get it
But
together,
if I
we're done.
just come to clutch and just do a heck ton of damage, because it does like 7-8k damage out of the whole thing, but we do start with the reason I'm coming in 3rd place, which is a really decent position. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you very much enjoyed it. This has been like a good, decent new experience. I'm sorry for like the length of the video and stuff, but hopefully it was decent for you to like learn and actually find out that I'm actually going to be recording again. So please give me some support. Give me, let's say, 10 likes. Is that if a push if possible, please? So hopefully you guys can like help out and just like say what you want and give me any tips, etc. Because then if you like help me, then that would be great. See ya. Thank you for watching. Bye.